What is up, guys? Welcome back to Picking a Fight. I'm Latch.
I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be looking at the main event of UFC 268, the Nigerian Nightmare Kamaru Usman versus Colby Chaos Covington. What you think, Jeff?
Dang, this one's going to be, I think, a closer matchup than it was last time.
Yeah, I don't know why the odds are so huge, man.
Yeah, dude. It should be a lot closer than that. But, yeah, I mean, I think both these fighters learned a lot from the first fight. But I think the fact that Colby Covington has been pretty inactive. I mean, he's fought once a year for the past, I want to say 3 years, including this one.
Mm-hmm.
This would be his first fight since last year. Usman has been pretty active. I mean, he fought Jorge Masvidal twice. Who else?
Gilbert Burns.
Oh yeah, he beat Gilbert Burns. You know, that fight was impressive. I think. He's been showing that he's been growing. You know, and I feel like when Kobe fought Tyron Woodley, I felt he kind of had the same approach he did when he fought Usman. Yeah, and I felt like that's a bad sign. And I think if he comes in fighting that way too, I think it's going to be a problem for him. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to note that after their first fight, both guys changed their camps completely. You know, Kamaru Usman trains exclusively almost with Trevor Whitman now after that fight, and Colby went to MMA Masters, so he left the American Top Team to train at MMA Masters, and so both guys are, you know, they say they've been improving with their new coaches and stuff, but from what we've seen, I mean, we've seen Kamaru Usman striking improve, and I think the odds are inflated the way they are because of his recent performances. You know, his first fight with Jorge, you know, wasn't the most exciting, but he did dominate him with the wrestling, kind of like what he always does. That second fight with it was Gilbert Burns. Yeah, I mean, he got he got rocked, man, and then he was able to recover, utilize his jab to kind of, you know, change the tides, hurt Gilbert, and eventually just finish him. So I mean, that looked really good. And then he went on to face Jorge the second time, and we all know that Hound did, you know, spectacular knockout in the second, I think, you know, in front of a packed crowd in Miami, you know, or not in Jacksonville, I mean, in Florida.
Yeah.
But you know, and so I think that's why the odds are so inflated because of his recent performances. You know, people are like, "Oh my God, this dude's a killer now," right? But I honestly think his striking right now is being a little overrated. Not that it's not getting better. I think you can see, if you see him before he fully committed to Trevor Whitman's camp, you can see his striking has evolved. You know, he's starting to feel a little more comfortable with it. But it's not where it needs to be. You know, I think people are kind of thinking he's like a striker now. Oh, you're a striker now, right? He's not, man. And you can see it, you know, even in his last performance when he knocked out Jorge, he had little bouts of sloppiness, you know, where he kind of like, it almost looked like he closed his eyes and like threw these kind of like, like these overhands that were so wide, you know. And so I don't think his striking is as elite as it is, but it's a good thing he's facing Colby, who in my opinion striking is also not elite. You know, he's kind of more of a pressure fighter. He's gonna, you know, push the pace a lot. He did their last fight, but he said, I think he's practiced his striking now, but I just don't think you can improve like that much just in, you know, in a little bit, right? And unlike Kamaru, we can't see the improvement because like you said, the inactivity, so it's kind of hard to gauge how much he's improved, where he's improved, if he really even has improved, you know. So I don't know, it's really hard to gauge that because he fought Tyron Woodley, and that fight, you know, no offense to Woodley, you know, was pretty much a walk in the park for him, and he didn't even have to change his style for that. You know, he literally just wrestled him. And he cut him up and all this stuff, and he won that pretty easily. But I don't know, it's hard to gauge how much he's improved through that. So I mean, it's hard when you can't see it, and we have seen it with Kamaru. But like I said right here, I have a feeling Colby's gonna wrestle. I think he's alluding to it a little bit, and I think he thinks that was missing in his first fight, and I think that as well. You know, for as much as they highly tout these D1 All-Americans, nobody seems to mention that Colby. In my opinion, I think Colby's probably the better wrestler. You know, because I mean, Kamaru was a good college wrestler, but he was a Division II wrestler. And so maybe they're not on the same level. Of course, they've both had almost similar success at the pros. So, but I think Colby, if he's the one initiating the wrestling, I think it'll work to his benefit. It will help him push the pace, control the pace, you know, because he was controlling the pace in the first fight for like the first 2 rounds pretty handily, and then once he started kind of gas, Usman was kind of hitting his body.
Yeah.
He was starting to crack the tank, and he was starting to, his hands were lower, his heads were him moving less and less, and so I think if he wrestles, he can kind of avoid that while maintaining his own pace, and not get tired, and maybe take Usman to where he originally wanted to, taking him to the deep end. And yes, he obviously has to mix it up. I think he can't out wrestle Usman the whole time. I think Usman knows how to get up. He knows how to do this. If anything, if he's able to keep Usman down, it's going to be a boring fight, I think.
Like the Woodley Usman, right?
Yeah, kind of like that. But reverse, where Colby's the one grappling, because I think if he tries to take him down, I think Usman knows how to get up, and Colby's gonna have, he's gonna spend the whole time trying to keep him down, and that doesn't allow him for any ground and pound or anything like that. And so I think it's gonna be a slow fight if either guy kind of initiates that. I think Usman has kind of been falling in love with his hands. I think he got, I think he knows he's getting better, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't think it's as good as everybody is saying it is. I think there's a lot of holes in it, but like I said, Colby's not the best striker either. And with people say he smoked Masvidal, but the Masvidal was scared of the takedown, and that opened up the head pretty easily. So
yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like Colby's gonna push the pace with the wrestling straight out the gate, kind of like he did with the Covington fight. As soon as he sees Usman commit to that too, I think he's gonna go for the takedown. What do you think?
I mean, it's kind of crazy because I think Colby has the advantage wrestling, but I think he has the advantage striking. I think Colby, when they fought the first time, I think he just had too many holes in his guard. I felt like when he would get countered a lot, he gets stuck with the jab a lot. Sticked with the jab.
Yeah, I mean, Usman's jab has only gotten better, like stronger, especially when he switches stances.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like, I honestly don't think that Colby's gonna do it out the gate. I think he's gonna
wait for
test the water a little bit. Probably wait for him to throw a haymaker or something and take it down from there. That's how I see it. But yeah, I think Usman, he has to stick with the jab. I think it worked really well last time. I think he has to hit the body because it worked really good last time. It drained his gas tank. I actually think
the body did it did really good, man.
Yeah, and I think his pace actually worked to his disadvantage in that fight. I think he just came out
too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's what he's used to, man. That's kind of the pace he kind of usually comes out with against RDA, against all these guys, against Robbie. That's kind of the pace he likes to put on his opponents.
Yeah.
And ends up, I mean, most of them can't hang, to be honest.
Right. You know what I think?
What?
Usman body shot TKO.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think his placement's that good. Bro. Nah, a lot of his body shots are not to the sides, or they're down the middle, hooks down the middle and stuff to the diaphragm area. So I don't see that happening, to be honest. But I mean, Colby has some good body work too, but he kind of abandoned it as the fight went on. Yeah. While Usman kind of stuck with it, and it started to really drain. Because no matter how much cardio you have, it don't matter how much cardio you have if somebody's cracking your tank. It's leaking out anyway. So
yeah,
and the body, going to the body is the quickest way to crack someone's tank. Put some holes in the cardio, and your gas is leaking. So it's that's some. Yeah, I agree. I think he has to go a little more aggressive to the body. To be honest, I think Usman. Both these guys get hit too much. You can tell they're not strikers because they don't they don't move their heads.
Yeah,
they
head
barely slip punches. I think Usman rolls more punches than Colby did, but he looks mad rusty when he be rolling and stuff. And both guys just don't look like natural strikers, right? And I honestly think this fight is not going to be as, obviously it's a high bar, and a tough act to follow, their first fight. And I'm pretty sure this fight's not gonna I don't think he's even gonna come close to matching it. I think this one's gonna be more of a grueling grind. They're gonna grind each other. Okay, that sounded kind of weird. They're grind each other out. And it's really gonna test both their cardios. But I honestly think with the wrestling and stuff, I think Usman's gonna get surprised how good Colby is, and I honestly think Colby's gonna get the upset, bruh, but by decision. I don't think he can finish him on the feet. I don't think he's gonna TKO him. I think he's too inactive when he gets ground control to really get like a TKO or something like that. His submission game, I think his submission games probably should get better because I think on Masters MMA they got some pretty good jiu-jitsu guys over there, but I don't see him submitting. I don't think he's gonna submit Kamaru, so I think he's gonna win a decision. It's gonna be like a grueling, kind of grindy decision.
Sure, I can see that happening, but this one's very close. But I think I have to stick with Usman. I think even if he's like just slightly less, good at wrestling, I think as long as it's decent enough to prevent the takedowns and keep it on the feet, like you said, I think he fell in love with his hands. I think that's where he's going to try to take this fight because I think he has the advantage. And I wouldn't be surprised if he knocks him out for over. I think he works the body, and then that's going to lower the guard, and then I think he finishes him there.
Yeah, I can see Usman taking over late again, and kind of like especially if he utilizes the jab. His jab's getting stronger, and it's like it has so much pop to it for it just like coming out like that. So I can see that really bothering Colby, and eventually kind of like same with Gilbert, like kind of like hurting him a little bit. But man, I don't know. It's close, man. Like after the Gilbert Burns, like I could have sworn Usman was gonna lose to Gilbert Burns, man. I feel like close. I felt like Gilbert Burns was like the perfect kryptonite for Usman,
Yeah.
Like Usman's main at that point it was just wrestling, right? And Gilbert Burns don't got the best takedown defense, but he's one of the most decorated jiu-jitsu guys ever. He's so dangerous in jiu-jitsu and MMA jiu-jitsu. So I was like, that's a perfect counter to that, right? Because he's so dangerous off his back. So even if he gets there, Usman it can't feel safe there. And then I thought he was a better striker. He was stronger, more technical. And I was like, more powerful. And I was like, Usman's not going to stand with him. What? And so, So I could have sworn Gilbert Burns was going to win. And yeah, he did get close. And, I was really impressed how Usman persevered there. He brought it back. Kind of like gathered himself and stuck to the game plan. And, it ended up winning that fight. And I was like, bro, I'll never doubt this man ever again.
Right.
But I'm going to have to doubt him this time. I think this one's going to be close. I think Colby's going to edge it out. And they're going to run it back, I think. Hopefully they run it back and it doesn't take forever. I mean, I don't think there's really anyone like next in line. Oh wait, no, Leon's there, right?
Leon, yeah.
Damn, that man's never gonna get a title shot, bro.
What you mean? There's Nate Diaz too, bro.
Boy, if you don't, they're about to feed him to Kamsa, bro, which is mad disrespectful, bro.
Right.
Because he got one fight left, and they've been talking. They're all rumors, but apparently he wants to test for agency or go to boxing or something like that. So they trying to get there. You know how I told you, I don't know if I said this in the video, but like people take each other's stars, like their star power, and I think they're trying to get Kamsa to take a piece of Nate's before he dips.
Right.
But yeah. So I think Colby edges decision. You think Usman finishes him? Is that your final prediction?
I mean, I think it's more likely for it to go to decision, but I do have Usman winning. I do see him. I do imagine him knocking him out. So I'd say late round TKO.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Colby's for real. I don't like his gimmick. I feel like, no offense to him, but I feel like he, like him and Usman's careers are so like parallels of each other. Where, no offense, they were both decision machines, bruh. Right. Like they just cut out the decisions. No offense, they had some boring ass fights, man. And Usman kind of stuck with his style, and it took him to the top. And Colby kind of, I feel like he didn't let his style speak for itself. He didn't let the win speak for itself. And he kind of had to build his persona. And low-key kind of annoying, but he is a good fighter. I think he definitely has some of the best cardio in this division. His pace has always been fucking crazy, bro. Oh, can I say that? Yeah, his pace has always been crazy, and I think it'll benefit him now. I think he's gonna put it together. I don't think he's gonna finish Kamaru. I think the gap between these guys is so minimal, and I think on Saturday night, Colby will be ahead by just a little bit, and yeah, that's my prediction. And you actually think he's gonna finish him like TKO?
Or I think it's like less likely. I think decision is the way he's gonna win, but I do see it happening like slightly less percentage, but I do see it as like a decent percentage of him knocking him out. If he follows my game plan,
bro.
if he does that, then I think he can knock him out. But if he abandons what he did the first fight, he probably edges out a decision, maybe. But yeah, he should listen to me.
This man. But yeah, those are our thoughts, our predictions on the main event. Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. You know, will Kamaru turn Colby's title dreams into a nightmare, or will Colby's chaos be too much for Kamaru, man? You're gonna have to find out. Watch UFC 268. Don't forget to like this video. Let us know down in the comments below who you got. You think Colby pulls it out? Do you think Kamaru pulls it out? Do you think anybody gets a finish? Do you think it's gonna match up to the first fight? I don't think so, but let me know if you think so and why. Don't forget to subscribe. You know, we put out videos for almost every pay-per-view, almost every fight night, and yeah, that was it. This is the video. This is the end of the video. We'll see you next week when Max Holloway takes on Yair Rodriguez, and yeah, we'll see you then.